All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're live. I am kicking this off a little bit early because Warren is going to launch in about 8 minutes. So I know folks are going to come in kind of slowly. I never start my live streams on time, so I wouldn't be surprised if not too many people show up for the next couple minutes. But this one should be interesting. I know that there is a voice chat that is going live over on the Warren in the Warren Telegram. So I'll probably try to share some of that. I don't know if I can do the whole thing. I'm just going back and forth with the guys in the chat right now to make sure we get that done. But if you guys don't mind, would you tell me if the volume's okay? I kind of got some music going in the background because I don't want to sit here in silence, and I'm kind of tired of listening to the same music, especially if I'm just going to tune out for a second and mess around. I've got my screen up here. I'll probably pull it down. I got to move some money around in my wallets like you guys. Want to make sure I keep some of that off screen and keep my privacy up there. But let me know how the audio is, if you guys can hear me okay, if the music's too loud, if you can even hear the music. I'm playing it through just a YouTube live stream, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, throw something in the chat if you don't mind, and smash the like if you don't mind, because I think this protocol is going to take off and be major. So the more people can see it, obviously that's better for all of us. Okay, not hearing any music. Perfect. So I can hear it on my end, but you guys can't hear it on your end. Interesting. So let me go ahead and flip some of this stuff off, and I'll just play the standard music in the background. You can listen to whatever they got. Mark, Warren's going to be live in 6 minutes. Absolutely. Okay, so let me start getting the links and some stuff like that in here. Like I said, we're starting a little bit early. Right when it launches, I'm going to try to bring it up and see if I can get my referral code. Of course, using a buddy's referral code. I think we're actually going to use this referral code for the Foodtopian wallet, just so some of those rewards go to good things. So I'm going to get that plugged in, and we'll see how the Zapper works and everything live. So I might be fumbling through it just like everybody, but we'll see how this thing goes. Okay, this should be the link. Once they go live, Warren.finance should pop up. And if it was your intention to use my referral code or my buddy code or whatever, it's this one. All right, 3 minutes out. Okay, so what I'm hearing from the team is they are just waiting for the website to go live. They kind of had it on timer, so there's a possibility of it being just a couple minutes delay. So we're going to hang out for a little bit, try to answer any questions if you guys want to. Maybe I'll pop up the protocol and then we'll be good to go. So I still have obviously the test net up here, which is going to kind of give us enough of the information. What's going to happen is this thing's going to go live. Website should look just like this. We are going to approve the tokens. Once we've done that, then we're going to drop our referral address right in here. This would be mine. And then we'll get tokens. That's going to allow us to get the tokens, and then we can create the bond. Once the bond's created, you guys should see it down here, active bonds right here. And then ended bonds will be after your 20, 30, 40 days or whatever it's going to be. This should say 40, 30, 20 on the live version. So once that's done, the bonds will be ended, but I don't intend to do that. I intend to just stake everything. So once we get the bond in there, I've got to create one for anything to work. And I'd say if you are going to try and get any referrals, you got to make sure you at least create a bond for yourself. Otherwise, you're not eligible. So at the very least, even if you don't have all the money right now, you want to put in a $5 or $10 bond or something like that. So it's in the system. That'll activate your referral code, and then your buddy link will work. Now, once you do that, I'm really liking this max staking 175%. That's going to be cool. Once you do that, buy the bond, there should be a little button here that you can click stake. It'll pop you over to stake, just real similar to Carol. And that will allow you to pair up your whatever bonds you have there with your DAI WPLS. So your wrap pulse tokens and your DAI will be together. You'll approve them, and then that'll put them in your stakes, and then you're going to get whatever percentage here. So I expect you've got your daily income here at 2%. I expect this liquidity bonus to fly up pretty quickly. I think that this one has got a lot of hype on it, and it could be pretty major. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see 2 million, and I could see above that. The only deterrent I think for some people is people are less familiar with Pulse Chain than they are with the Binance Smart Chain. And that's correct. So Pulse is the main token. What do you mean by that? MetaMask says no token data available. Make sure you have it added to your wallet. And I think you did. I think you were saying in the chat yesterday that you went to you were able to go to Chainlist and then add it directly to your wallet. So if that's the case, check that out. Thank you, Susie. Good to see you. So let me know, Dwight. Make sure we get you set up. But sometimes it'll say, I've had it say, I don't know. I use Rabby now, but I've had Rabby tell me that there's no data available, and then I click out and back in, and it's already uploaded the token. But if you try to buy any Pulse tokens and have them go to your wallet, you should be able to see it. All right, what questions do you guys have about the protocol while I sit around and answer them? I think Lee's going to try and jump on the stream so we can hang out and wait. We're not quite live yet, like I said, on the protocol on the website. So we're going to wait for a couple of minutes. Once that goes live, we should all be able to get in. I think it's going to be a bit of a race. Hopefully we don't crash the system, because I think there's a lot of people that are waiting to get onto this one, but we will see. So you've got 0.25 pulse, like a fraction of a penny? Or did you add 25 pulse? I guess let me even that is super, super low. Yeah, let me know. I would add a little bit more to it than that so you can see it. But if it's, are you using it on, are you doing this on mobile? Because if you're doing it on mobile, a lot of times I think MetaMask will tell you there's no data available to load, and it just can't load the dollar value. The tokens are there. And there's a chance that they may be doing that on MetaMask as well. But if you're doing it on mobile, that's for sure why. Oh, the 0.25 pulse or whatever just showed up in your wallet. I would ignore that. I would just send some pulse to your wallet. And if it's the real token, then it's fine to interact with it. What happens is these guys create fake tokens that look almost exactly like it, slightly different contract address. It looks really similar, but it's not the real token. But if someone dusted you with real pulse, then it doesn't matter if you interact with it or not. It's the standard token. It would just get mixed in with the tokens you have when you buy them. So what I would do is I would try to get some pulse in that wallet. And if you all of a sudden see two pulse chain tokens in there, you've got the real thing and the fake one, I would block the fake one. And really, those dusted tokens, like, they're not going to interact with the contracts correctly. They want you to go sell those tokens somehow, do something with them, and that way they can hack your wallet. Yeah, that's the way to go. I've been using the Spark Swap bridge to bridge my tokens and then go in and I can swap them to whatever currency I want on that side. Steve, website's not up quite yet. They had it timed out, but server's got to go up. It's got to get up. So they're estimating just a couple minute delay. So we could be hanging out here for just a second and clicking refresh. And then when we get it, we get it. Yeah, nothing yet. Buddy, what's happening? You there?
How you doing, mate? You okay?
Good. Doing good.
Just waiting for my,
like everybody else.
My tripod to charge. I've got one of them movable tripods and it's flat. So no camera at the moment.
No worries. No worries. We like your avatar. You're doxed already. I'm not going to rug the live stream. All right. We got any estimations on what you think this thing's going to do in the next 24 hours? Or maybe even just by the end of the weekend?
I'm obviously not financial advice, just my own opinion, etc. But I think this is going to do very, very well. I think there's a lot of interest. Obviously, we know the team. We've worked with Math and the Dapps before. We all know Nomad, Design Sensei, or whatever he calls himself. Obviously, Moonshot Max, and the Telegram's full of people that we've been chatting with for the last 2 years, pretty much. So I think there's a lot of confidence in it, and the website looks awesome. You can clearly see that a lot of effort's gone in, and I think a lot of people might jump over. So yeah, I think we could easily see 1 million in the next 24, 48 hours even, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say for sure 1 million by Monday morning, like over the weekend. Could be bigger. Like I've said a couple times, I think the only deterrent from doing that real easy is there's some folks that are going to have to go, okay, I got a bridge. I got to get over to Pulse. Got to add Pulse to my wallet. I haven't really done any dApps with Pulse. And then, I got to get the LP tokens and all that. So I think there's going to be a couple little hangups there that slow people down. But I think in the end, people are going to figure it out. Especially, I expect some people to go, hey, let's see. What does this mean? What does this mean, Mark? Anyway, I expect some people to go, hey, it's too difficult for me, and then watch the TVL climb for a couple days and then go figure it out.
Yeah. I think like anything, I procrastinated on multiple chains. The only one I haven't procrastinated on is base. It took me 8 months to get onto Pulse. I couldn't fit that many people were sharing different links to bridges, but now we've kind of got that sorted. I think people will start, easing the way into bridging. Things are getting easier as we move through DeFi and different chains. Rabbi's made it super easy, automatic switching. We don't have to add chains and find links to find the chain ID and the token. So we're getting there. It's just that, people, there's a lot of people already on Pulse, but there's a lot of people who maybe started today with maybe a lot of BNB, and it's one more step to bridge, but the bridges are getting easier and faster and cheaper. So, we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, Rabbi's made it so easy with the automatic switching of chains and wallets, and it's pretty slick. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Mine has been crashing more lately, and I don't know if it's the addition of all the stuff. Mine probably crashes twice a week, and I just got to reload it.
What, Rabbi?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, once every couple. Oh whoa! Once every couple of days. That was nearly a copyright strike for the Pogues.
Oops.
Fairy Tale in New York. Yeah, it crashes. You just have to log back. You mean when you log back in and your password? You've got to put your password back in. Rabbi.
Let's see. Take a look.
Oh, it's live. Site's live.
Is it?
Yep.
You can see it?
I can.
Okay, so what do we got? It's supposed to be... You said it's under HTTP, not HTTPS, huh? Not secure.
So if you want to get on Rabbi, you've got to click generic, just for people who might not know that.
I wonder if it's not liking my...
Have you got your referral address in the chat, dude?
Oh, I do in the chat, yeah. I wonder if it's not liking my VPN or something. It's up for you guys?
Yeah, it's up for me.
Okay. I'm afraid to turn my VPN off because it'll disconnect the connection.
Right, I'm going to use your referral.
I got to get in first though. Okay. Let's see what happens if I turn my VPN off. Let me do this real quick.
I'm going to wait for you. I don't think we've... Okay, so 1, 2, 3.
I'm going to try to turn the VPN off. Could shut down the stream. We're about to find out. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I don't know what to zap. What do I zap? I'm going to create a small stake to start. So what do I zap?
Bingo.
Oh, right. Okay, there you go.
All right. So let's approve the tokens. Let's connect the wallet. Here we go. After all this waiting. Yeah, my VPN didn't like it, FYI. So if you guys are using a VPN, that might not be ideal. Okay. Approval. Ignore. Okay. Approve tokens. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I want that.
Also, don't connect your ledger to just a charging USB, which is what I've been doing for the last 20 minutes.
Okay, so what do I need to do here? Do I need to zap some LP from my Pulse? Yeah.
I'm waiting for you. Have you approved?
I approved, but I still need to add a stake to be able to do it. So we're about to find out what happens when
I've got to wait for you because I'm using
I zap
your thing.
$2,000 of stuff together. Okay, we're fumbling through it, guys. We're getting close. Yeah, I've got Brave as well, Mark, and It's just there's a bunch of pieces that I think it's all doubled up. I'm like a little extra secure. Okay, so let's do, how do we do this? Let's go. I want to do like a small one first, get it done. All right, $20. How about that? Okay, so I've got the code in there. I dropped it in. Now I've got the LPs. Let's approve it, and this should set it up, and then everything's actually live.
So did you zap first? Because I wasn't watching.
I did zap. I had to zap all my tokens that I had available in Pulse into the LPs. I had to create the LPs first by clicking zap, and it allows you to pick how much you wanted. Then you do that. And then I put the referral code address in right here, and then I click get tokens. I think that worked. I might be doing this twice, but I'm okay to have multiple stakes if I did that twice. The first one might have been an approval. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Transaction submitted. Bingo. Okay. So let me hit a refresh here. I should have bonds coming in.
I'm getting confused here, I'll be honest. So is there a minimum you can zap? Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I'm getting confused too. Where? Let's see.
Zap. This is why you should never do this stuff kind of live, because it's
yeah, it's good.
we lose our editing prowess.
So I'm on Brave, hardworking American. I'm on Brave too. I've got Brave. I had to turn off my VPN and reset it. Again, this is the
right.
That's the one I'm
zapped. Okay.
Kirk, I am not anymore.
So once you zapped LPs, what then?
Once I zapped the LPs were kind of sitting up here in my wallet. Then I just went up here to the top and I just selected the amount, right? I just went like, I just made it like $20.
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah. And then I got the tokens.
Oh, so
out of that much. But I've got this bond down here. Okay, that is. It's confusing because this 1890 right here that's at the bottom, that's in Warren tokens. I thought it was like $1,890, which made me think that I screwed up and did my whole amount because I got like 19 something sitting and waiting for my bonds. But I participated in that seed round, so I dropped $1,000 on that. So I should have another one in here. I'm basically just waiting for that to populate. They said that they're gonna do that right at launch, and then that way I can use the money that I have here to stake it.
I'm getting confused here. So I've got 911 LPs.
Okay.
Now what do I do?
What does it say right here? Does it say get tokens?
Get tokens, right.
So drop the referral address in there.
I've done that.
And then click get tokens.
Right, I didn't refresh. It was still saying approved. That's why. That's what confused me. I couldn't see the get tokens.
No worries.
Thingy-majig.
So, you guys, I would say be patient. This is a launch. It's going to happen a little bit, but just mess with it. I don't really think it's going to be super crazy difference if you get in 10 minutes or you get in right now.
No.
So I would just play with, I mean, obviously I have no, I've been talking to the team, but I have no like preferential treatment. I'm getting in just like you guys. I'm on Brave. I had to mess around, turn my VPN off to be able to get it, try a few different things. I was able to access it. This part was a little bit clunky, but I'm in. So I would say mess with it, try a different browser. I'm sure all that stuff's going to get resolved, but it's just at the very beginning.
Right. So now I'm in the stake a bond. It's finding my bonds, but I'm getting error. Please try again. Is there any reason why that is? In the stake tab?
I have no idea. I can't see.
So my bonds are popping up. Warren bonds 1275 because I've done a small one first to make sure it works.
There you go. Now what are you asking?
So I've selected the bonds.
Yep. Like how do you selected them as in click active right here? Is that what you mean?
Now if you go to stake tab at the top, I've selected bonds. Oh, better I've bloody bonded all 100%, you know. Should do 50%, shouldn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, clicking
there,
down. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so click on that.
No, you need to bond all of it. You need to stake all of it. So you just click on whichever bond that you've got that you want to stake.
Error, please try again.
Then you click approve.
It's not even coming up approve on mine. It's just saying stake a bond.
When you click that drop down, do you see your bonds?
Yep, Warren 1275, and then plus DW Pulse. I haven't got any DW Pulse.
You should, unless you bonded every dollar that you had. Did you bond all your WPLS tokens?
That's what I mean. Should I have done 40%, 50%? Sorry.
Yeah, if you don't have any more of the tokens, then you don't have the other side of it.
I got $1,000 of it. It's just, oh god, Lee.
Well, if you got your bond,
Zapped LP, try again.
Yeah, if you've got more Pulse tokens in there, then you just zap some of your Pulse together. Just creates the LP from Pulse.
Yeah,
wraps everything, gets it ready.
So
okay, I approved it. So once you guys get in, and just if you get in the first couple of days, it's not going to be a big difference. I think this one's going to rock. So I'm glad at least mine's working, so you guys can see how it works. But it's not like mine just popped up. I have to play around, click some different links, go to different sites.
Yeah, ignore me.
So, but I'm just in the chat. It seems like a lot of folks are having problems. Like this will get figured out. This protocol isn't going to be cool if I'm the only one that's in it. So,
right, there we go. Come on, Lee. Seriously, 50-50, you know this. So tell you what throws you off as well, that's what she said, is when you get more bonds for the value that you put in. So you have to match it on the other end. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see if this worked.
Right, I'm going to get this Foodtopian link now for the syndicate. Because all the gains from this and any referral rewards we're going to throw back in. I know it's interrupting your stream, but I've just got to mention it.
No, you're good.
So 127,000 liquidity so far.
Okay. Yeah, 127,000 Warren tokens, 0.01486 cents. And climbing. I'm interested in the tokenomics of this one to see if Warren has a gentle climb. This could be crazy lucrative.
Oh yeah, big play.
Okay, I have no idea whether that worked or not. So technical errors on all sides, I believe. We will figure it out. So I've clicked the bonds, I've staked them, I've approved them, I did all this stuff, and it's not working. So I'm gonna do it again. Let's see what happens. And if I burn 11 cents in Pulse doing it, so be it. It's the nice thing. It's like, this is why I hate transacting on the Ethereum network, because anytime you have something like this that you want to get into, or whether it's an NFT or you're trying to buy a token and you have little technical issues, you know, you might burn $15 to $30 in gas every mistake. And I hate it. Okay, stake a bond. Well, it's up. Quick. Okay. Last time it said stake a bond and then reverted back to approve for whatever reason before I touched it. So let's see what happens. Good to see everybody. Thank you guys for being patient. I know it sucks, but this is pretty much how it goes. Luckily, they said they were going to launch at 1. They were launched by like 1:05 or 1:10, and some of it works. So that's better than Forex standard time, if you will. It'll get up, it'll get going. And Dwight, I don't know on the phone, man. I don't know how that works on mobile. I really limit the crypto that I do on mobile. I've got like a special burner phone. I've got like Tangent now, all that. So I try to limit it. So I'm not the phone mobile expert for crypto. All right, let's get a little, I don't even know how to do this. Can I do like a poll? Just hold on. How does this work? I need to get more familiar with these tools that are in here.
Are you talking about the chat or the computer?
Yeah, can I do a poll in here? Maybe not. That'd be cool if I could, but apparently
You're missing all the comedy, Scott. You're just not listening.
Am I not?
The joke's gone now. I can't repeat it. The moment's left me.
I missed it, dude. All right. Okay, so show in the chat. Sorry, I'm fumbling over my own words. Who's got in, who hasn't got in? Let's just see if it's sorting out some of the issues. And I would say try a couple different browsers. I tried a couple things until I got this to work. So test it out a little bit. I'm sure all those little wrinkles get ironed out here over the next day or even the next few hours. So just be patient on that.
You see, also things like this. This is the perfect candidate for a how-to tutorial after the fact. This is what usually happens. I mean, I don't want to like come across that people in the chat don't know how to make a YouTube video, but what you don't see is me and Scott will probably sit here doing this for 3 hours on a night time and then record our videos so you get the short, snappy version. Do this, clip, do this, cut, do this, cut, and cut.
Exactly.
But because it's live, this is kind of what we all have to do, innit? We have to fumble until we work it out, you know?
Yeah. So this is interesting. I don't have the bond there anymore. I wonder if it takes the bond away when it moves it to the stake. Unlike Carol, when you could see your bond over here and just see that it was staked. So it may actually, once you bond it and it puts it over here, if you stake it, it may just steal it from over here and throw it in your stake, and now it just lives over here, which technically would make sense. I have no idea.
Just UI,
find out.
Waiting for the UI to aggregate and populate the information, maybe.
Yeah, could be.
Does make sense though.
Could just own it in the stakes now because it's no longer bonded. Because
bonded,
technically you forfeit your bond in lieu of the stake and the additional percentage, and then you're going to get that back over time up to 175%. So I get that for sure. 128,000. So money's pouring in. It's just taking a while. And again, I want to put a bunch in here. I had, like I said, the 1,000 that I put in on that seed round. And so I've got that, and I've got my tokens that I've got ready. So I've got the 1,000 plus the other bonds that I want to make. So I'm going to play with this money and get it in, and I want to get it in right away. But obviously I'm not going to do it before that bond hits. So I'm just going to be waiting around, I guess, for that one, unfortunately. So it's, some of you guys are technically, even if you're fumbling around and getting in now, you're getting in before me. Of course, I've got like my little $20 bond in there, or my $28 stake, I guess now. But the big money, I'm gonna have to wait until my bond hits that I pre-purchased during the pre-seed round. And they did that intentionally. Like they raised some capital, but they didn't want to give it to people as like a Warren token or whatnot, and give people a pre-sale, because it's not really a fair launch. A lot of times it'll launch and then these guys will dump and they'll make a ton of money, which is great if you're the guy dumping and making the money, but sucks if you're the person just trying to get in and trying to figure out the right time to get in. So instead what they did is say, hey, if you're going to be involved in this seed round, we're just going to stake it as a bond, and then you're going to have to come up with another $1,000 in order to stake it. So basically I was committing right when I did that to $2,000 in automatically. So I should get that bond. I'll come over here, I'll drop down. It should be here for $1,000. I'll stake it, which might actually be, if they bond it for 40 days, that 1,000 could become 1,400, and then I'm going to have $1,400 that I'm going to have to stake it. So that's what I'm personally waiting on. But overall, these are pretty basic issues. I'm hoping that they get ironed out. I'll take this over a 2-week, 2-month delay, saying it's ready when it's not ready any day of the week. Just a little frustrating. Let's see here. Wes, having issues getting your bond. So the steps, and not to say it's going to work, but the steps would be this. You got to have some sort of token in your wallet right now that's on Pulse chain, right? I had Pulse tokens, so that's my example. What I did is I zapped LP. I already had all those Pulse tokens. Now I have 8 cents worth, so I basically have nothing. But I just clicked max. I wanted to get all of them. But if you had, $100 in there and you only want to do 50, you could do 50% or 75, whatever. Change your slippage, whatever. Zap just creates the LP. All it does is say, okay, we're going to steal your Pulse that you got in your wallet. I'm going to take that. We're going to exchange part of it for wrapped Pulse and part of it for DAI. Then we're going to smash it back together and give it back to you. That's all the Zap is doing. That's sitting in your wallet, and then you're ready to actually go through the next step of the process. Once that's in your wallet, you're going to want to drop a referral code in here if that's what you want to do, and it will say get tokens. You're going to want to select how much of the total that's in your wallet of this LP that you actually want to put in for the first bond. If you want to do it all in one, great. If you want to do half and then put the other half in when you stake it, great. Just, be aware that you're going to have another, depending on which one you choose, you're going to have another 50% plus. So if this is $100, it would take, if I put in $100 worth of tokens into my bond and I wanted to stake them, I would need $140 on the other side to match those up. So just be aware that you've got to leave some extra over. So if you're basically trying to do it all in one, you might want to go, hey, 25% to create the bond and then keep the rest for when you stake it or whatever. But keep put your referral code in there if you want to use it. Click get tokens, and then it will create a bond for you. And I'm gonna have to click it a couple times. I don't know exactly how smooth it'll be for you, but if it just happens once, your bond will be sitting down here. And once it's in there, you can say, okay, I'm ready to stake now. You jump to the stake tab, you click down on bonds. It should be listed here. You'll click on that one. You will need to approve the token, and then you will need to stake the bond, and then it'll sit down here. So those are the steps. Let me know if you're struggling with a part of that, or it could just be like it's not working for you, and in that case I can't really help troubleshoot that, but that's where we're at right now. Lee had to jump off. I think he had we're going to do some things. We've got this referral code that I used here. We're using it for the Foodtopian DApp. We're going to use that to give back the rewards and fill the coffers and all that type of stuff. So we'll see. What's the ticker for Warren Finance? It's not publicly traded, so there's not really a ticker. Sorry, Wes. I don't know. Without being there to help troubleshoot it, it might be a little bit difficult to figure out exactly what's going on. If you've got Pulse in there, or you've got that LPs created already and enough Pulse left over for gas, that's a good point, because I didn't really even think about that when I made the transaction. Luckily, you just need, if you got $1 left over, you had plenty of gas for a little while. Then you just need to, you just need to zap it, have this in here, and pick your days, and then it should create your bond for you. It should be available. When it says get tokens, that's what creates the bond. Okay, let's answer these DMs real quick. Everyone's blowing me up. One sec. Lee, you're back, buddy. Congratulations.
I was always there. You threw me back in the green room.
I don't know how I think it did. I think it did it by itself.
Yeah, man.
I don't think I
I was
clicked
trying
on
to
that.
sort my camera, but I can't get it to connect on my iPhone for some reason.
You're good. You are good. All right, Kirk's in. He got in. A little clunky, but it's good to hear. Yeah, this one's a little bit of a challenge. That's why you don't do them live. Like you were saying, man, I don't like doing the launches live, partially because we've been through enough where there's been major delays and it just rubbed me the wrong way. So like I like to wait till I hear it's launched and then I try to jump in right away. But most of the time I get in with a little bit of money first. I do like a test, or I'll do like 50%, and then I'll get in again right after, like on camera, after I've learned it. Because half the time, like, you're clicking buttons, they might not be working, or you just have a senior moment and you're like, it's not worth, you know what I mean? Like you said, you didn't leave enough to have the percentage over to stake, and then you realize it after. Those aren't really good for live streams. So
it's true.
So I like to save these videos for more tutorial videos once I've played around with it and figured it out. And it's nice if you've been able to use the test net and been in contact with the team and play with it and be able to ask questions, because then you can sound a little more intelligent when you make the videos. But sometimes it's just not possible to get every single detail, and then you're here on the live stream dicking around and making plenty of mistakes. But that's where we're at now. Let me get a little refresh here and see.
It's good live though, because it does give you the, some people just think that we click 3 buttons and we're in and we know exactly what we're doing. It's not the case. We do exactly the same as you. And I've phoned Scott sometimes at like midnight saying, I'm going to throw my computer through the wall in a minute. You've got to help me do it and get a tutorial. And then the next day I do a perfect video. And it's like, oh, it's so easy. Sometimes it's not. Just,
Exactly how it goes. I remember when I was setting up, you were helping me when I was setting up for starting to do live streams. Oh man, I was just struggling to connect everything. I don't know why, but it just wasn't giving me any love. But here we are. Okay, will you be able to unstake them and get back our DAI WPLs once the stake is matured? It depends on what you're talking about. So if you're actually talking about a bond, then yes, once you bond it, you'll have, after your 40 days or 30 days or 20 days, then you can get that back. If you're staking them, then you will get that back over time, up to 175%. So instead of waiting and then getting them all back, you're going to get them every day in this percentage. So if you can see, I've already bonded and staked it. So it took my bond away and now it's sitting over here. So I sacrificed the bond to have the stake because I want 175% of the new amount, not just the, my original amount plus 40%. So I want more money. So that's why I'm doing this. What it's doing is it's giving this to me in real time. So right now I've earned a whole $1 back, or a whole cent back. But this is just going to keep building up, and then I can rebond, meaning I can put it back in the system if I want to, compound it, if you will, or I can sell and I can just keep that. So it just depends on what you're talking about. If you want to just bond it and let it chill and then snag it back when it's done, yes, you can do that. Or if you want to basically sacrifice it over here in lieu of getting an additional percentage, which is the most lucrative way to do it, and what I would recommend, while also not giving you financial advice, is try to maximize, especially this early in the protocol. 150K in. I mean, guys, a bunch of problems. So, I don't know. End of the weekend, 1.5 million. I don't know exactly what we should expect from this, but it's going to be a pretty good amount. I mean, I personally have $1,900 just sitting there to plop in as soon as I can. So I'm assuming that there's going to be other people also that are going to do that. And if I'm just one person, I mean, like I said, this is going to be over 1 million in 24 hours, and definitely 1.5 million by the end of the weekend, if I were to guess. So I would go the most lucrative route. That's my non-financial advice. Plus, this is part of it. The liquidity is going to affect this liquidity bonus directly, so it's going to affect your percentage. That's why I'm getting, excuse me, my base rate 2% plus this 0.11. When this is 1.5 million or whatever, this is going to be considerably more. I'm going to be getting 3.2, something like that. So the percentage per day that you're getting back out of what you've staked is you're getting it back much faster at a much faster rate, and you can get up to 175% of that. So with all the percentages tied together, it's roughly 200 or 2x what the original was. We also are seeing a slow creep of Warren token. So because it's worth more, you can be seeing something interesting. I'm gonna watch that price. I don't know exactly how that's all gonna work, but we'll see. Oh, there was plenty of things wrong with Carol. So the B&B side, as you can tell, on Carol is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Carol's decided to make some changes. They decided to, they had a couple little contractual issues that have been ironed out on this side. It won't be the same experience at all. The major issue with Carol Protocol on the BSC side is they decided to trade it publicly out on exchange, got flash loan, drain the liquidity that they had there, and so that side crashed. On the B&B side, of course, everyone freaked out because they saw the other side crash, and they just started pulling all their money, lost faith in the system. Those are still running. I mean, I'm still pulling money from those. It's not like they're straight dead, but it severely hindered their growth in the system. Carol had no outside revenue source. This one does. They're doing collateral rehypothecation straight out the gate, which will help. It's basically farming Pulse tokens over on like a Pulse farm, and then they're able to pump that liquidity back into the system to help pay out investors. That will drag things out a little bit further. They've got some other ideas for external revenue, working on a layer 2. There's a lot more to this one than there is to that one, but it won't experience the same issues because it's the contract was redone. Sometimes people do straight forks where they just find a protocol that works well, like baked beans or something, and they just refork it, reskin it. That's the fork. That's it. In this case, they didn't do that. They made several tweaks to the contract to make sure it was better. Also, they're renouncing the contract, so they're not going to be able to go in and make changes. Part of Carol's issue was that they overcompensated and started to tweak the code to do what they thought might help. They were originally doing buybacks, and they didn't do buybacks, and they went back to it. They started trading it on exchange. A handful of things happened that changed the dynamic of what Carol was, and it's too bad because Carol was booming and it was going to be so much better. I mean, Carol could have tripled in size if it had kept going. People were going to keep pumping money in, and it was going to be really successful over time. Just made a few too many changes, and obviously hindsight's 2020. You can see now what we probably would have done better. Luckily, these guys were able to see what happened with Carol and then make the tweaks so it could last a lot longer, but it won't. It definitely, I'm not saying this one's going to be around forever, but it will not go the same direction as that Carol did because the code's different. Well, what else we got, guys? What other questions you got for me? Who hopefully by this point people have at least got in and can see the website for starters. I know that was an issue right up front for a lot of folks.
I think one of the most obvious, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, sort of problems that people are going to have that are not so au fait with these kind of projects, which you actually saw me have the same issue, is that when you go to the bond page, which is where you start, because you're instantly dealing with an LP, people start thinking, oh my god, so what do I do? What does Zapped LP? So it's kind of like you've just got to treat it like you did if you were in Carol or you did in anything, where Zap basically means it's going to do the job for you. Zap buttons are brilliant. They're the best thing that could happen. You haven't got to do anything other than zap your LP. and then
It just
make
creates
sure
the
that
token.
it does it all for you. You got to make sure
If
that
they reworded it differently, I think Zapp's maybe confusing for people. If they worded it differently and said, create the token you need to use in this protocol, people go, oh, okay, I'll click this button and it will take what I have and create the token. So, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, zap you, because you're zapping your pulse is what you're doing. You're not zapping LPs.
Yeah,
you're zapping your pulse to create an LP. So it's like, it's not really confusing at all, but it is to some people that are not so proficient at dApps. And I did exactly the same. I totally forgot that you needed the other 50% on the other end, plus the bonus that you get. So if you're buying $10 worth, but they are giving you $13 worth, you have to match it with 13, not 10, because you've got 13 in your bond. So it's we'll get there. We'll do a tutorial each. We'll get there.
Okay, transactions are going through, but I'm not getting any bonds or Zapped LP. So when you go here, when you're bonding and you're putting an amount up here that you want to do, and let's see. So at the point you're at, you're basically clicking Zapped LP, and you've got Pulse in your wallet. Is that what you're saying? You've got Pulse here, and you've already basically said, I can't do it that way. You've already said, I'm gonna zap $7.80 and then click zap. It'll put them together. So that should create the LPs. You might have to add them to your wallet to actually see that LP. But once you get here, if you've got that LPs in there, you can click 10, 25, 30. And if any numbers populate here, you've got the LPs sitting in there. So if that's not happening and you've gone in and said Zap LP, you've got Pulse, you've said how much you want to do, and you zapped it, and the transactions look like they're going through, but you're on the other end, you can't click here and it's not showing you any LPs, then I'm not sure. You'd have to look at your transactions and maybe.
But it tells you on the read at the bottom, underneath W Pulse, Wrap Pulse, you've got a balance of 129.8. So any LPs in your wallet are going to show in that tracker underneath the. Can you see it? Up under Wrap Pulse LP, big bold white there. Yeah, that's the tracker. So that's your wallet.
Yep, exactly. Good point right there. So if you have zeros in here and this is showing nothing, then it's not actually creating the LP for you for some weird reason. And if it's saying transactions approved, then I don't know, because it could be a gas fee issue or whatever. Normally it's not with Pulse. So I would say, Wes, do you have anything right here? Any LP tokens right there? Let me see what the chats are saying too. Okay, private sale bonds are being deployed right now, so that's good news for me because I need to come up with the money to stake those.
I'm really excited for this one. It has got the feels. It's got,
it's going to be good.
Yeah, it just feels good.
You got a good. I mean, we know the team. That's obviously. That's not always the perfect win because those don't always win, but it's a strong team. These guys are solid. They've been around for a long time, all separately, and they built a team together. So we've obviously known these guys for the last couple of years, and they've been involved with other projects that have gone real well that you guys know about. So that's helpful. So that makes me feel pretty good. It's a proven model. We know if they did it right, like by adjusting the code and took what was so good about Carol and made a few tweaks, proven model could be real lucrative. And then you've just got, Stunna came out with a crazy good video on this yesterday or today. He was talking about it. He's all about the UI. I love this UI. One of my favorite UIs that's ever come out.
Good UI.
Yeah, it's really simple, not complicated, easy to understand, big, bold letters, consistent fonts, color scheme simple, not too complicated, not all this crazy stuff going on in the background. Their main focal point is just this big Warren character or whatever, just slick. I just like simple stuff, and it's not the most complicated, catchy UI I've ever seen, but just everything, I don't know, everything lines up. I just like lines that are smooth and are offset and different fonts and all that type of stuff. That stuff drives me insane. So it's got a new age crypto feel, but also still has like a little bit of a feel of what traditional finance stuff would look like. So
should I tell you what we need to do with this? And this is a shout out to the team, right? How many people love Funko Pops? I am one of them. They need to create that Warren bobblehead that you see there, 3D print it, get it coloured, and anyone that puts in a $5,000 stake gets a free Warren Funko Pop bobblehead. That's a competition, mate, because I want one of them on the shelf behind me. Not like Funko Pops.
I do.
Be more enthusiastic then.
I do. I just want to stake my bond, dude. I'm focused. Yep, so that's not in there yet. I'm gonna have to do it. Let's see. Let's see how old these messages are. Some people are still saying they're struggling to find the web page. Is everybody in the chat in?
Hang on. Right. I'm just doing some moderation. I ain't having that kind of crap in your chat.
Yeah. Plenty of bright people out there.
Oh, you beat me to it.
I actually just saw the button, so I clicked it. I didn't actually know you could do it on this side.
I can't. I can only do it. I had to flip over to the...
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I wonder if it's mine. I never knew you could do it from here, but I just clicked on that little drop down and I was able to actually do it, so that's more helpful. Crypto Watcher, I just need to put you on blast here because I've been telling you about this protocol and to be ready for it for about 3 weeks. You're just swapping your tokens now. Procrastinator. I'm telling you for weeks. Knew this one was going to be good. I've talked about it in several videos. Like it was coming. They got the audit and they waited a long time. So, they could have launched it early, but they waited to make every little final tweak they thought they could, which is real smart because trying to get it launched faster doesn't help when 3 weeks after launch, everything looks like it's amazing. And then there's some exploit or you wish you would have made some change and known about it. But instead you were too lazy to wait for your own audit. So that's good. Cruise through the DMs. A lot of people are hitting us up. Don't see the bonds. Okay. Okay, this is the official website, folks. It is HTTPS. So definitely don't try to access the old version. Hopefully you get everything sorted with the Foodtopian wallet referral deal, so we're all solid.
Yeah, okay. We're all locked in. No referrals yet.
No worries, it'll come.
But we're gonna do a couple of videos, and obviously there's a couple of people I think are trying to get in. So I've just basically said hit me up because now I know what to do. Like we can help you out. It's fine.
Yeah, it'll take a little bit. SSL deployed in regions. So math basically says they're working on a couple things, trying to get stuff sorted in Asia. So it's all going to come, guys. anybody in the chat right now that just straight can't get to the site, and if it's you and you're going to comment, tell me what country you're from. Crypto Phil's getting in over here. Let me see. I got DMs from. Anyone else getting this site can't be reached, USA, no VPN? I felt like I was getting that early on. I had to shut my VPN off to get it. Make sure that you're using that link I just posted, this one right here, because that's the one that got me in. I'm on Brave, but I would also try it over on, let me see real quick. Actually, I'll do it myself just to see. I don't want that one. It is bringing it up for me now on Chrome. Chrome's working as well. But I'm using Brave with Rabby. I've also got Chrome with MetaMask. And I've interchanged all of them because I'm always having issues. So I'm not having any issues, obviously, but I don't know how many other people are. But I would try a couple different configurations if you can. And rest assured, all this stuff's going to get sorted out. So if you feel like you showed up for launch and you're having some issues, and it may just be a scenario where go do something, go back to work for a little bit, check back in an hour, jump in. It's not going to change. It's not going to change anything. There's a lot of folks that aren't even going to see this till Monday and go, whoa, this thing got 1.2 million in TVL or whatever. So I'd say don't get crazy. What would it be, 200K? I mean, we're 40 minutes into a protocol launch, and it's been a bit of a little train wreck here as far as everything going. It's already got 200K in total liquidity. This thing's going to fly. The opposite. You need a VPN to access it. That's crazy. But yeah, it works. So a lot of times, I don't know. Sometimes I need to turn my VPN off, and I can turn it right back on, and it'll work fine. I was hesitant to do it anyway because it cuts off my connection, and since I'm live, I was afraid it was going to shut down the stream, but it's fast enough. But yeah, I have to play with stuff all the time.
And that's pretty decent now, nearly 200K, like you say, in what, 40 minutes-ish?
Yeah, 40 minutes, 200K in. Yeah, I mean, that's really solid. I've made 3 cents, so I'm feeling pretty good right now. Yeah, I'm actually interested to see where this is going to go, because there's a lot of people I think that missed the boat on Carol, and kind of wanted to get in, just stay on the sidelines. There's a lot of folks. You saw that with it took Carol a while to grow. Carol launched. It was a real slow grind for a little bit. Got in, 10 days after launch or something like that. And then it started to really fly. I think a lot of people thought they were late. And so when they launched the B&B side, I mean, they were 1.2, 1.3 million in 24 hours. So all of a sudden, obviously it's easier for people to get into B&B because it's just simple to bond and everything straight off B&B. This one's got a little more complexity, as you'll see, so it'll be a little more challenging. But that one flew because people obviously saw it, that it had worked on the other side. I expect this one to do really well, and as it continues to grow, like I said, collateral rehypothecation, so you've got some external revenue sources pumping in here. They're going to announce the contract. There's a lot of things that are more beneficial about this one than the other one. Who knows how far it could go. It could be 3 million next week for all I know. I really have no idea. It's going to be interesting to watch it all play out. None of this stuff's financial advice. When I feel good about something, I tend to kind of go hard in it. Sometimes I get wrecked, and sometimes I make good money. So that's how it goes. Everybody's a big boy, girl.
This is, I wouldn't say I had an argument in Telegram earlier, but I had some crosswords with someone in a group saying, I think you sort of referenced the point a couple of weeks back, and I said, look, if something rugs, I'm not talking about Warren, I'm talking about previous projects, by the way, just disclaimer. Lee, this one rugged. I said, well, yeah, but I was making money along the way. I didn't know it was going to rug. And if I went in with that attitude on every single DApp, I would never, ever make a single penny ever again, would I? Because I'd be too scared to try it. Now, that's not me saying everything I go into, I expect to rug. Again, not Warren. I'm talking about some of the other stuff that I've covered lately. And I said, well, you tell me a DApp that's going to make you $1 million in the next 12 months, and I'll put 50 grand into it.
Yeah,
I'll even sell some of the kids' toys after Christmas. If you are guaranteeing me it's not going to do anything dirty to me, then that's fine. So it's like when you see a DApp come along and you think, you know, team's great, trusted. You know, there's a lot of people from other communities that we've been involved with in the past coming together to invest into it. We're covering it. We could make hundreds of thousands of dollars in 2024, and then we would be the day oneers, just like, you know, Stunner and the Rays and the Richies from Drip. And you think, well, there has to be a day one again somewhere. So why not just play the field until we find it? You know, this could be it.
Everything's a scam. If you throw that out there, you're going to be right 80% of the time. But the 20% that you didn't, some of those could be big hitters. Everyone said Hex is a scam. I mean, just going way back, Bitcoin's a scam. All these are scams.
Yep.
You have to give some things a try, and hopefully you get close to break even at least, or get heavily in profit on some. You got to offset some of the rugs. If you don't feel comfortable in the ones you don't want to get into, just don't. It's not, it is what it is. I go heavy in the stuff that I feel like is going to work. Like some of it didn't, like Green Figures is a prime example, with George being involved and him being a trusted name in the space for so long, and just all this other stuff. I really thought, I thought that one would last longer, and I went 5,500 into that one, got wiped out. And so it's not like, but I'm okay. I'm going to roll the dice on stuff because I'm a degen, and I want to see if it's the one where you get in day one, or you can 3x, 4x your money. I mean, Wolf Capital is another one. That one did really well for a really long time. I know a lot of people who got in early when I got in and 3 or 4x their money or more, and then either got out or just left some ride or whatever. The folks who got in late, those guys ended up getting screwed because Trav or whatever happened, ran off with the money or lost it or whatever excuse that they came up with.
Yeah,
and that stuff does happen. But that's why I try to get in early if I can, and I roll the dice. And if you're not prepared to lose the money, like it stings. Like Green Figures stung. I was bugged for a couple of weeks about it. But I also, I knew it was a possibility, even though I didn't think it was the one. But that's just how it goes. So these aren't, I just wouldn't play at all in DeFi, probably, if you're not willing to risk anything. You see weird stuff happen. Even stable coins, you got Terra Luna, you've got all sorts of stuff. You got some weird stuff going on with BUSD, and there's risk everywhere. But so play the less risky side if you want to, and get 10% maybe on a stable somewhere, staking in a farm, or state of the stock market. It just depends. The risk reward is proportionate. So if you want to play around and degen on some stuff and take a lot of risk, then you got the possibility of having 1,000x. You're never going to get 1,000x for the most part in like the stock market, unless you're playing with penny stocks,
Yeah.
But you could get a 50x or something like that, which would be crazy if you happen to pick the Microsoft or Amazon or whatever. And that's how that goes. So people just need to realize that investments are inherently risky, and gamble away at it. We're going to see what happens with this one. I feel good about it, so I'm going kind of hard. We'll see. I'll be bugged though if anything happens to this one, but I don't think it will.
It's all about risk management. No matter what you do, whether you like in business, if in the real world, if you see an investment opportunity and think, you know what, that is a goer. Like, we've got some properties that we're looking at the moment with the Foodtopian side, and there's one literally 3 miles up the road in a prime location. It used to be a Pizza Express, which is a national brand of a chain of restaurants, and they sold up that location to move to a bigger sort of, what do we call them now? Not retail park, they're called something like a village of discount designer stores, outlets, designer outlets.
Yeah, the outlet store.
Yeah, so they've moved to this new development, literally, I don't know, 4 or 5 miles down the road, and this place is vacant, and it's a 300-year-old bank.
Yeah,
and now it's obviously converted into it's a beautiful building. It's mega old. It's got loads of history, and it's on the market for us to, you know, buy. We're going to look at it next week just to see what the state is inside. It's a licensed cocktail bar and pizzeria, so it's kind of on brand with a license to seat outside in the summer in a market square. So it's a beautiful thing. And the last 2 developments that we've looked at, we could have got absolutely wrecked if we'd have took them on. And that's in real life business opportunities. This one is a beauty, but the 2 previous ones were absolute dogs. And I decided that we weren't going to do it because it felt fishy. And guess what? One of them's already knocked down and been flattened into a car park. And we were looking at it. So it's like, that was a rug, potentially, because we could have signed a lease and then got kicked on the lease. They could have kicked us out and just, you know, give our deposit back, and then we've lost a real prime location. So it's the same risk everywhere. You just got to play it, you know, with your own strategy. It's not anyone's fault but your own.
Yeah, I would say there's risk with anything, especially, I don't know, these big dollar amounts. That space you're going to look at is really, really, really nice. So it's a big price tag that's attached to it, and that's it, man. You got to make the decision. This is the risk reward worth it, and the risk and the reward are going to be proportionate to each other. So if you don't want to, you know, be a degen, then don't be a degen, but you can't ever expect to really have those crazy gains. So just figure out like where you land. And for me, I invest a lot in the real world and pretty simple, boring stuff that doesn't get me excited, and I just dump money in there, and I guess in 20 years I'll come back and look at it. It just gives me some sort of steady yield. But then I've also got to have outlets like this, which are pretty much full degen, and I'm going to see if we can, you know, 10x our money here within a year and go from there. So that's how it goes.
100%.
Most of the guys watching, they're going to understand that risk and reward, they go hand in hand. All right, so some people are getting in. Looks like you restarted your computer, site came up, good. I think it's just going to be messing with stuff until it works. I need to wait for my bonds to come up, so I guess I mean I'm not really going to get heavily involved in this thing until those come up, because I need the bonds to populate, so I can add all of the pulse that I have here into it. And I'll be about, after I get all this done and the everything, I'll be about $4,000 into the protocol. So that's my investment that I'm willing to put in, and then I've got to figure out a strategy after that. Don't know what it's going to be. Probably a combination of rebond and selling, and so I'll just figure out that as we go. But I'm really interested to see how high the liquidity goes, because that's going to change this liquidity bonus right here. So we could be easily into the mid threes by over the weekend. Be crazy.
Yeah, that's one of the things about these protocols, in particular this one. Liquidity bonus is obviously a joint effort for everyone in the community, so everyone plays the game right. You all get more return per day. You've got your hold bonus, which is specific to you as a person, and the more you feel you want to hold, you don't have to, but you get a bonus for doing so. So you could see 3s and 4s. And then obviously, you got your personal bonus. So it's like, if everyone does the right thing and you determine the right thing yourself for your own strategy, because no one can tell you what to do with your own money, but you've got the figures in front of you to decide how you want to play it. So you can't say to someone else, well, I did this and I did that. It's right there in front of you. 2.16% daily income, and you play it your way. That's the good thing. It's personable to how you want to play this game. Really cool.
Real easy. So I'm gonna go in just for the sake of this video, because it could be a while before I get my stuff, and I do have some meetings. I'm gonna go in and try to do something from scratch. The only thing I can't do is zap the LP and put in the amount I want to zap, because I already zapped my pulse, and I need to add some pulse to it because I zapped all of it. So I've only got 8 cents, which means I've only got a handful of transactions that I'm going to be able to do. So I'll add some to it. But for now, if you were starting from scratch, if you join the stream late, just show you how to do it. You end up on this screen. You've got Pulse in your wallet. You're excited about it. You've connected the wallet. You're going to go to Zapped LP. You're going to either go max 75%. You're going to put however much you want to zap, meaning how much money do you want from what you have sitting in your wallet to create the LP, which is what you're going to need to use in the protocol. Like, you want to get into Warren? Great. You need an LP. How much of the money that's in your wallet do you want to allocate to Warren? So zap the LP, good to go. Put in your referral code if you would like. Then you're going to decide how much of the bond you want to create. So referral code's in there. You're going to say, I want to use 10% of my money or 25%, whatever you want to do. I personally am going to put in $4.76 worth, right? Not too much. So that's in there. I'm going to click approve. Let's see if this works. Let me set up my ledger. Just so everyone knows, Rabby wasn't affected by the ledger deal, but all the other things should have been worked out by this morning. So people shouldn't feel too frustrated about not being able to use their wallet, or being concerned with it, I should say, not frustrated. Okay. All right. So I'm going to approve the tokens. Should pop up here and say buy tokens. Enhance. Okay, get tokens. Boom. Let's do that. When I say get tokens, this should create a bond for me if it's all working correctly. I'll have to find out. That bond is going to be worth 619 because I'm taking the 40. I'm taking my 476. I'm taking an additional 40% right here. And then that'll create a bond. There's the bond. Okay, the bond's active. Fantastic. Go to stake. I already have LP tokens in my wallet because I didn't use 100% of it. You got to have enough to match it. So I have to have that $6 and something in there. This is the amount, 667. That's what I'm going to need. I will approve and ignore all the warnings because that's what I do. Okay, after that's approved, this should say something about staking the bond. Once that gets done, I will stake the bond. And that's basically the whole process. Boom, stake a bond. Let's do it. All right, now that that's done, those should mash together and end up down here earning me some additional yield. There it is. So that's it, folks. This is going to pay me out right here, and that's it. And as soon as my one from the seed round comes through, I'll stake that, and then any additional that I have here. So I've got a good chunk of cash in there. But right now we're up to 210,000 liquidity. And there's been some issues, so I think this one's going to end up doing well once everything gets ironed out. What questions do we have in the chat, guys? I want to make sure everyone feels comfortable with that process. It's not uber difficult. It just, needs to work on your end. So sometimes they're a little finagling, but I'm assuming over the next couple hours, all the little kinks will be ironed out. You'll be able to get in and do the process exactly like I just showed you. It'll be done, and there won't be any concerns about having issues with the protocol in a couple days. Okay. Just reading through the chat. Sorry about the silence. Just trying to see if there's any other major issues that are coming up. Looks like
I'm reading the chat as well. Yeah,
yeah. Looks like most folks have figured it out.
So what's the plan for the rest of the day, Scott? Obviously for me, it's 9:15 at night, so I'm pretty much set.
Yeah. So for me, I've got a meeting with maybe the largest. We'll see. What can I say? They're probably the largest tattoo apparel brand in the States. Anyway, I know some folks over there, so we're going to meet and talk about a promotion that I'm doing at the beginning of 2024. My company's doing, I guess. So trying to iron some stuff out, and then I know the guy pretty well, so it's going to be also just a personal call, checking in on him, seeing if things are going good, seeing what we can do for those guys. So I've got that pretty much right after this, and then I've got another meeting with the team. There's a big tattoo, would call him like a tattoo conglomerate. The guy owns a big chunk of real estate over here, and he's got about, I don't know, 9 to 12 shops on the same street. They're all right next to each other, pretty nice shops. But they're doing something for people impacted by cancer. We do a lot of different charity stuff, but this got sprung on us yesterday. He just said, hey, we still have a list of families that need stuff. So we picked a family from the list, and they've got some kids, and one of their kids unfortunately died of cancer this year, and so they're just in a rough time. So we're going to knock that out and make sure we get them what they need. So I got a meeting about that pretty quickly after this, and then one more thing that I'm not remembering right now, but it's on my list that I got to figure out how to squeeze in. But yeah, just a few things from the in real life business and trying to get it sorted. It's Friday, so it's been a long week. Need to step away a little bit this evening and maybe take the kid somewhere, get him some ice cream or something.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So a pretty busy schedule. I've literally I've had my evening bath, which I love. I am a bath person, and I think that tattoo thing's really cool out, the helping people with cancer and affected families and that kind of stuff, because that's not just charitable, but it's like good human spirit, and I like that kind of stuff. It takes you away from DeFi. I like it. It's nice. Respect.
Yeah, it does for sure. Yeah, we try to do a handful of little things, and there's a couple of charities out here that we did, we kind of, my business partner and I divided and conquered, and we probably, I don't know, handled gifts for 50 kids or something so far this year. So that's pretty solid. But just important stuff. Some of these folks are in a pretty tough spot, and I like any charitable things that are actually making an impact and they have to do with kids, because it's never the kid's fault. Sometimes they have knucklehead parents that got them in the situation or whatever, or sometimes it's completely unavoidable, like a cancer scenario. But the kids there caught in between all of it. None of them deserve the tough road, you know what I mean, and to not have the necessities or coats in the winter and food on the table, all that type of stuff. So we try to lean into a lot of the needs and get them at least one or two wants, if they want a little video game or whatever it is. So they got something fun to play with, but the necessities are key. No kid should go without that stuff just because their parents either got themselves into a situation or just a totally unavoidable, horrible one, like the cancer scenario. And a lot of them are tough, man. You read the stories and they're tough. The dad died from pancreatic cancer this year, and the mom's just trying to get by. They got 6 kids, or it's brutal. So
every little helps, doesn't it? Every little helps.
It does. It does. John, I would go back about 10 minutes in the video. I just actually went through this. Go to Bond, If you have Pulse in your wallet, you're just going to click Zap. You're going to decide how much of the Pulse that's in your wallet you want to create the LP from, 75, 50, or you can type it in manually. You click Zap. All that does is create the LP for you. So it's super quick. Once you got the LP, if you want, put in your referral code, then you select how much you want that bond to be, knowing that if you want to stake it, you need to have an additional amount over that you're going to set aside. So, only do 30% of it or 40% of it or whatever, depending on if you need some to stake. So just be aware of that. But process is actually pretty easy once the system works, which seems like it is now. Most people are getting a pretty good response. Playing with the VPN, I can't talk. Playing with the VPN, sometimes that worked for people, on or off. Yeah, clear cache, seeing a lot of different stuff. So just play till you get it. Absolutely. Well, I think we did it. Hour and a half. I intended for this to be like 30 minutes, but we had some delays. Had to talk through it. So that's it. I'm just going to watch, and hopefully my little pre-sale one will come over, and then I'll stake it. And then I'm going to probably gather some more tokens for the rest of the weekend, pile them in here, and do another one probably Sunday night or something like that. And just then we'll be cooking. So that's it. Anything else you want to cover, Lee?
No, I'm good, man. You're obviously busy, so no, not at all. Just thought I'd come and help out and get through it with you.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's better than me just talking to myself the whole time, especially when there's little issues. But yeah, it's good. Thanks for jumping on stream.
No problem.
And, cool. Well, I'm gonna kill the stream, but thank you guys all for showing up. Appreciate it. We had like 40 people on at one time, so that's cool. Hopefully everyone's able to get in. Post your questions or comments down. If you're watching this later after the live stream, post your questions down below, and we'll try to get them answered, make sure everybody gets in. But I'm betting by Monday this thing's really pumping and everyone's satisfied with the ease of getting on and off. So thank you guys all for jumping on, and we think I'll get a couple videos out next week before I go out of town for Christmas. So we'll see you guys then.
See you guys.